How's everybody doing today? All right, there we go, there we go. So for you guys expecting to see Aaron Luden today, unfortunately, Ryan Plaza is taking Aaron Luden's job today. So I'm sorry about that, guys, but we're gonna have a good time. Aaron, unfortunately, has COVID. So if we can send Aaron some positive light, some positive energy, I'm taking over Masterclass today. I'm excited. We can get everybody, all my sponsors to the front so we can get you guys on stage and going. Shay, what's Aaron's thing to get the crowd? If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap 3 times. Oh, I kind of like this thing, Aaron. I'm going to steal it when I'm speaking on stage. All right, we're going to get ready today. I got the call last night that I'm going to take over today. So I'm a little bit nervous. I know you guys think that I'm like super outgoing. Yeah, there we go. Shoot. I know everybody sees me on the videos and on social media and they think I'm the most like social guy on the planet. I actually have a little bit of anxiety when I see all of you people. So if I stutter a little bit today, just give me a little break, all right? Is that all right? All right, so let me take out my notes. Can I read notes? Is that all right? All right, cool. You guys are a nice crowd today. I thought you guys were going to be a tough crowd. All right, so welcome to the 47th session of Masterclass. Can we give a round of applause for that? This event is put on by Orlando Real Producers and our guy, Aaron Luden. If we could give him a round of applause, please. He called me last week and he was like, Ryan, I think I'm gonna need you to take over for me. And it's Aaron Luden. Like, this guy bounces back like a trampoline all the time, right? So I'm like, all right, Aaron, I got a million things going on, but I'll do it, no worries. In my mind, I thought this guy was gonna be completely good by today. And then last night I got the call, he's like, no, bro, it's your turn. So I said, all right, let's do it. But with no further ado, let's give it up to our sponsors. We're gonna start off with Jody, then I'm gonna just keep you guys rolling up if you don't mind.
Hello, good morning. Jody, Celebration Title Group. We are your favorite title company. We do real estate closings, of course, but we do so much more. We love to be a true extension of your business and help you with everything from marketing, lead generation, education. So, big announcement, we are opening a brand new, beautiful office in downtown Orlando where we will have a state-of-the-art podcast studio, video studio, training center, and event space. So if you're looking for somewhere to meet clients, create content, have your team meetings, we would love to host you. Lastly, on behalf of myself, Jen Charisse, and our entire Celebration family, we want to thank you guys so much for your nominations for Partner of the Year and Connector of the Year. We feel truly honored to be part of this community. Our team shows up every day to deliver happiness, make you shine, and to move our industry forward. So thank you guys so much. It's truly our honor.
Sure this one worked. Bad luck with Mike. Hey y'all, I am okay.
She has fans.
I am Shay Walker. I am a branding photographer. I created something called the Vibe Session, which is my branding photo shoot that focuses on your individual brand vibe. I can go on and on about what I do, but what I want you to do is go to your Instagram and give me a follow at Shay Walker Photo. Some of you guys, come on. Shay Walker Photo, S-H-A-Y, Walker Photo, and shaywalkerphoto.com, and just give me a follow. You can see my work there. There's a link in my bio where you can connect with me, and we can back. Happy Masterclass, guys.
Hey guys, I'm Cameron Foster with Old Republic Home Warranty. Old Republic has one of the most cost-effective warranties in the state of Florida. When you're comparing home warranty companies, don't just look at the price. Look at the coverage and the limits of liability. For example, with air conditioning systems, we have no limit that we will cap out at. Some other warranty companies cap out at $2,000, $3,000, and we have no cap. So if you have any questions, give me a call. I'll your business. Thank you.
Go Cam, go Jody, go Shay. Hey guys, Heather Hurry, Pillar to Post Home Inspectors, the Jeff Mackey team. What's up? Everybody awake? I have to be, my last name's Hurry. No coffee yet. Don't know what's going on with that. So hey, listen, we are really glad that you're here. For those in the house that have used Pillar to Post the Jeff Mackey team, can I get a raised hand real quick? You guys know us? Thank you so much. That's why we're here. Bottom line, if you guys are looking for a partner within the home inspections realm, you're going to probably need us at some point, right? Who in here deals with buyers and sellers? Anybody? Okay, yeah, you guys get the drift, right? So some of the biggest technology that we're rolling out is, and I just wanted to mention this because it's a free service to you guys, P2P 360 virtual home tours. You don't even need to be on site, and we'll send you the link and you can walk through the whole house. How cool is that? And that's just one of a few things that we're bringing to leverage technology. We've heard what you've said, and we're bringing it back to you. So we're listening to what you guys are telling us that you need, because it's all about you. It's not about us, right? And we want to be able to bring that back to you and bless you with those benefits. So you guys have an awesome masterclass. Aaron and Bryce, we're mad at you. You're not here, but we love you. And everybody, 1, 2, 3 clap for these guys because they're not feeling well. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
Good morning, guys. Brandon Blake here with the staging company. Just wanted to say thank you because as the market shifts, as days on market has gotten a little bit longer and price drops are starting to happen, you guys have been blowing up our phone. And it's been fun. So we're completely out of furniture, but don't worry, we've got a few semis coming in next week to replenish the warehouse. But I really, really appreciate you guys. And what we're really... What's up? We good? Ooh, sounds good. Our vacation rental offering, we can furnish vacation rentals cheaper, faster, and better than anybody else in the market. We're rolling that out in Texas. We just opened a warehouse in Austin because it's blowing up. And we're looking to expand here in Florida as well. So if you work with investors or you work with vacation rentals at all, put them in contact with us. Because again, cheaper, faster, better than everybody else. What they would spend thousands and weeks or months doing, we can do in a matter of a couple days. So again, thank you. Thanks for having me. And looks up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Steve Bell, and I am a partner with Harding Bell International. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Good to see Ron the Realtor here to see me today. Appreciate it. We are a full-service CPA firm that specializes in anything kind of property-related, real estate agents, property management, accounting, investors, foreign investors, specifically FERPTA. That's really our niche. Those are the things we do. We're also available to do classes on FERPTA, tax for real estate agents, kind of tax tips, those kind of things. I don't know why anybody would wear a tie in the state of Florida in the summer like I did, especially when you have to do manual labor, so don't do it, please. We also do speak Spanish and Mandarin. So if you have Chinese clients, Spanish clients, we have several on our team that can help with that. Super excited to be here. Excited to hear Ryan do his thing today, so look forward to it. Thank you, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Hope. I'm the attorney with RTR Title. I just want to let y'all know that we have completely changed some of our education. I love the timing that Aaron and his team did for this class about pivoting in the market, because I'm hearing it a lot, but nobody's telling y'all what to do so that when the time comes, you know. We were doing the exact same thing in our office. So we're going to get back to the basics of what you guys do to get your business. We're going to get back to sales and prospecting and lead generation and hitting your market base so that you stay relevant and top of mind. So just go to our Instagram, hit our link tree. They're all Zoom. You don't got to go anywhere. Just click on that. We have a 4-part series, and it's all about pivoting and getting back to the basics. All right? Have a good class.
Good morning, Samantha here, Business Development Manager for Home Team Mortgage. First things first, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's Samantha_Home Loans. You're missing out on some fun content if you do not. But a quick announcement, we actually have active a 21-day guarantee program where if we don't close in 21 days, both buyer and seller are going to receive $50 per day until we close, all right? So make sure you guys connect with me afterwards, and I look forward to this amazing class today.
Good morning, Vic DeVore here with DeVore Design, and thank you. A fan club, I like that. So we're here to talk about pivot and shifting. So something tells me all of our panelists are going to talk about the quality of your media. Because if you're taking cell phone photos, that's that's what's going to be representing you in a shifting market moving forward. And since Ron's here, I feel comfortable saying that's going to fuck you up. So, so don't do that. Present your listings as professionally as possible. And I hope that you use DeVore Design to do that. We do photos, we do video, we do home staging. So give us a call. And I always have to do these selfies, Ryan.
Hey,
got to do it every time. So why don't you get here behind me too? And let's have a round of applause. So there's only 3 more Masterclass left.
Yep.
So let's hear a round of applause for Aaron and Ryan and everybody. Cool. Thank you. We got one more here.
I don't know why they've taken me for last. By the way, nobody believes him when he says he's not outgoing and social and likes these things. I think he does great on it, and we appreciate you filling in for Aaron here today, bud.
Thank you.
Chris, give him a round of applause. Yeah.
Way to make me more nervous.
So my name is Christian Lopez. I'm with Home First Lending. We've been in the business for 17 years, which means we predate the crisis back in 07, 08. So when they talk about pivoting and shifting, it is something that we're familiar with. We can come up here and talk to you about all these little gimmicks and programs that really everybody offers these days. But how do we adjust according to the market? That's where our team is ready to help and support you guys. So we appreciate the support here and the opportunity to be here, and we appreciate you, Ryan.
Thank you. All right, all right. Give everybody a round of applause, please. Are you guys ready to get this thing going? All right, guys, I need energy, guys. Are you guys ready to get this thing going? All right, there we go. There we go. I have to feel this energy up here. All right, guys, today is the 47th session of Masterclass. That is super exciting. And today is awesome because we get to talk about pivoting and shifting, right? And I think that everybody in this season is trying to pivot or shift. Some did it sooner, some did it later, but I think that coming to these type of classes and having these type of leaders up here being able just to candidly share about what are they doing in these seasons are super important, right? So my name is Ryan Plaza. I'm an account executive with Home First Lending, but today I am your MC. I'm gonna moderate the panel. We're gonna have a super good time. I'm gonna pull back out my notes because I got these notes this morning. So for my guest up here, if I mess up anything on your bio, I completely apologize. And sorry, you could beat me up later. Just take it easy on me, all right? So we're gonna start off with Jackie Griffin. Jackie Griffin, yes, give it up for Jackie. She's with Florida Lifestyle Realty. She's the #1 Brevard County MLS, selling 121 million and 359 units in 2021. Give that a round of applause. She started in 03, a few years before the crash, and started her brokerage in 2013. Her team-based brokerage of 13 has exploded and is now one of the most dominant teams in Brevard County, with their headquarters being in Cocoa Beach. Give it up for Jackie, please. You could come on up, Jackie. I'll help you here if you don't mind. There you go. All right. You could get first up. You could pick whichever one you like. Maybe front and center. I like it. All right. Next is George Philbeck. He's a former #1 Keller Williams agent in the world in 2009, and an 8-time Wall Street top 1,000 agent in America winner, and sold over 500 units annually from 2008 to 2013, while the real estate market was at its lowest, including 993 units in 2009. Give that a round of applause. Carey Light started it. All right, give it up for George. Bring George up. All right, next we have Carey Light. She started in 05 and rode out and built her business through the downturn, selling at least 1 to 2 homes a month, and then 124 units since the pandemic. She has been selling 18 to 25 million annually for years now. Give it up for Carey. She's coming up. And while she comes up, I'll start with Beth Woodhall. Give it up for Beth, please. 20 years in the industry, veteran, overseeing at least 18,000 transactions and growing the business of countless top producers. She is an investor and owner of businesses including Keller Williams Classic in Leeds, a 501c3 charity, and the CEO of Woodhall Wealth Companies. Give it up for Beth, please. I love the shoes, by the way, Beth. I'm digging the whole outfit. I'm a shoe guy, so can you give it up for Beth's Converses, please, one time? Jeez. All right, guys, I'm gonna start asking these questions and step off stage. But the first question, and we'll start with you, Beth, is what does this shift look like? What does it mean? And how is it different from 2005? Or what is similar?
So I'll start with what is different, and I know everyone's going to have an answer, so I'm going to start with one that is not very sexy, but it's real. Lending practices are different. If you were in business back in the day, there were loans where you literally showed up and pretended you had money, and they gave you money, right? There were all kinds of crazy loans that required no regulation, no documentation, no anything. And people who were buying homes shouldn't have been buying homes. We did them a disservice. The entire industry did them a disservice by putting them in properties that they couldn't afford. The other economic piece that I think is super critical is there were no jobs then. Are there jobs now? Do we have the lowest unemployment ever, right? Are there signs everywhere for people to go to work? There's more money now than there was then. That's just two of the reasons, and I know these guys have more.
Everything she said. And this one's a little bit different, in my opinion, because we've got a different economic state and we're not beating up loans. I don't think we're going to drop. We're going to talk more about that. I don't see Florida falling off the face of the earth. I just think we're going to have to work a little different and a hell of a lot harder because there are less people out there. And the big difference in me and the market and where this shift comes from is we've got institutional buyers taking a very large percentage, which I'm sure we're going to cover as well. So what's y'all's strategy? What's my strategy? What's our strategy for combating that? I'm optimistic about what's coming, but it's you're right. They're better loans. We had thievery back then. That sucked. A technical term there.
Thank you. Basically, it is the same thing. There was really no guidelines back in the 2004-05 in the mortgage industry, and so anybody could get a loan. We used to say if you could fog a mirror, you can get a loan, and it's true. And also, you could get as much money as you wanted. Like 18-year-old kid buys $1.5 million home. And the thing is that they were buying them as investments to turn around and sell them. And when it all crashed, there goes their equity in what they had. So there was a lot of foreclosures and whatnot. This is completely different. This really started for us. I'm on beachside, but it was the pandemic. If I can live anywhere, why not come to Florida? So we're going to talk about, that's a great thing.
Yeah, we love that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you can hear me now. Great, thank you. The other big thing, along with what Beth was saying, was that people now have equity in their homes. So they're, if they do need to make a move, they're not necessarily upside down. We're not seeing hardly anybody. I remember so often during those years meeting with sellers and having to bring them the reality where they needed to price their home and how much money they would have to bring to the table to close, or do a short sale. So we haven't been seeing any of that here lately.
Awesome. Now let's take a step back, and we could actually just continue with you. Let's take a step back. Where were you in 2005, and what did your business look like? And what did you do to change and transition?
So in 2005, I was brand new. It's when I got my real estate license. I joined Keller Williams in Kissimmee, and then I finally got to meet Beth shortly after that in Oviedo, and we went down and started Waterford, and then to Lake Nona. But so I was a brand newbie, and my eyes were this big. I remember my first listing I went on, I had to immediately learn price reduction conversations. I remember Beth was such an amazing leader during this time. I know the other agents around me were saying, oh, I really miss the phone calling, people getting phone calls for business. And I was like, I don't know what that is. Like, that's not, I was just starting. So, my first class I went to on CDPE, I was learning about short sales. And I came out of that and I thought, I don't want to have anything to do with any of that. That just sounds completely horrible. And, but the more I learned, and then I started having people coming to me that had needs. They had children with medical bills. They had things that happened to them and they needed to sell their home or they were behind. And so because of that needed to get educated so that I could help them. And that's where that happened. Oh, and I remember Beth telling us not to complain. That was her biggest thing. She was just like, I don't want to hear it. We got to move on. We got to keep going. Like, she was just like really drove us through all of that. So that leadership was really important. So make sure you partner with the right people.
So back in 2005, our market was still booming and buyers were outbidding each other, just basically what we're going through now. And when that started to crumble, 06 was our shift that started to really crumble. What I noticed was that the sellers that were underwater would call their buyer's agent, and their buyer's agent would say, I'm just a buyer's agent, I don't do sales. I'm not a listing agent. And so they would walk away from people. So that's when I took on the decision that I was going to become the listing agent. And so that's how I shifted in that market time.
Wow. When I started in 2003, all I did was call for sale by owners. That was it. And we saw the market change. I can tell you it was in the month of October 2005. I managed a pretty good percentage of all the listings in my particular area. Shout out to Wemert, who was the only better person at farming. She had 90% capture rate. And the market changed really, really quickly. And I'm like, okay, what's this going to look like? And I hope you all are saying the same thing. What does this look like a year from now? Because you're going to build that right now. And I knew that I needed to add more to it because I was going to lose inventory. We weren't going to sell as many as we're probably seeing now. We're not going to have as many buyers. So how do I pick up market share or at least stay even? And I had to do a couple different transitions. I transitioned first into a marketing approach, and then I had to shift into what everybody knows me for REOs. And it wasn't because it's because I kind of figured out what's going to happen. So if you get nothing out of it on this class, what's it look like for you a year from now? And then make the commitment and say, okay, where do I need to be? It's kind of like Wayne Gretzky. He skates to where the puck's going to be, and that's our job right now. So interpret it. Don't freak out. And look around you, take market share. Because even if you stay even, you're actually gaining market share. She taught me that.
So it's not a complete love fest up here. Thank you very much. Yeah, so thank you. So I got two stories. I have one story when we looked at each other and basically said, oh, shit. And another story that really captured what happened then. So I was leading an office, and in February 2007, my average price was $340. By November, it was $123. Yeah. So what did we do? We looked at each other and said, we got to do 3 times as much business to make the same amount of money. Oh, by the way, were we living high off the hog? Oh, yeah. We were going in and ordering $100 bottle of wines, a couple $100, dropping $500 on dinner. 2 weeks later, we're at Hooters going 10-cent wings and 99-cent. Yeah. That is the truth. So my first message, like in future casting, would be everything these guys said, and shore up the back of your house. Like, shore up the back of your house. Do you have the back of your house in order? Realign your business. Realign your personal expenses. Get ready. And I'm not suggesting that we're going to go from 340 to 123. I'm not suggesting that at all. I'm suggesting know where your money is, right? The second story is, where was I literally? I was sitting next to George. He was on this side. I remember it specifically. Jenny was on this side. We were in Austin. We had been out in the usual realtor style the night before. George was eating Tums like candy. I look over, his eyes are bleeding. And we're here.
Blair was between us.
Yeah.
This is cute little old lady that I've never really met before, sitting right between us. She's awesome. I love her. Susan, if you're out there, I love you. And the next conversation is going across Blair, who doesn't know me, is smelling this guy that smells like smoke and bourbon. All right, and then go ahead.
And honestly, Gary Keller's on the stage, and he's saying it's coming. He's saying, get ready, get ready, get ready. And we leaned in, we're like, we're in Florida, we're fine, right? We're in Florida, we're fine. Yeah, I'm never gonna say that again as long as I live. And we just kept leaning in, all of us, I mean, literally kept leaning in, and George elbows me and goes, F&A, Bubba. And that's how we knew that we had to change things. And I hope that if you're not thinking that way, everything that these guys have said is exactly true.
Love that. Can you give her a round of applause? All of them a round of applause. I'm over here now. I'm doing the normal Aaron walk around thing, trying to channel Aaron Luden. All right, so now the next question is, what were the indicators that the shift was coming? And when did you realize that it was going to normalize a little bit?
So George gave you the exact date, which I don't remember, so I'll ask him to repeat it again. But here's, I think, picking up on what Carey said, the only way you're going to know is if you're with other realtors. And I think this is uniquely different than last time, because back in the day, we went to the office, like you went to the office. And we have lived lives on Zoom and from our homes. That isn't going to be scary right now. I would just tell you, you've got to find your people. You've got to find your group, and you've got to talk, and you've got to mastermind, and you've got to talk about price reductions. Good. And you have to think about doing things that you wouldn't do before. So how did we know it was coming? Collectively, we looked at each other and said, the showings have gone down. We're talking about this in our office right now. How many showings is it before you take a price reduction, right? Those are some of the indicators, but you need other people to help you figure that out. If you have been a Lone Ranger and made a lot of money or made a decent amount of money, now is the time to find your people. And there are lots and lots of people out there that are willing to work with you and willing to stand next to you. And mostly, be honest, it's not like you have to be an expert. You just have to be looking. Like, what are the indicators? How many showings are you getting? Do you know how to get price reductions? When's the last property that sold? What do your pictures in MLS look like? I know we all market at a high level now. There was one time where we decided that if you showed Hollywood bulbs in a picture, that meant your house was not upgraded. Take the picture out. I'm telling you, it gets that micro in terms of analysis, but you got to be around other people, because no one is going to tell you that picture's crap except up here.
So 2005 in October, I put a property on the market. It sold for $339. I put the exact same property on the market at the end of October. It took 3 months, and I sold it for $329. The market shifted in October, and I can pretty much assure you that's when it was. And that's actually when it was, again, a shout out to my partner in crime, Wemert, at that point. We both had big whiteboards, and all of a sudden, as opposed to 3 listings, we had 15 to 20 and came up with Eat the Frog. That's where that came from. When did it shift in this market? Show of hands. I'll go through a couple different months. If you think it was February, let me show you, raise your hand. Okay, if you think it was March, raise your hand. If you think it was April, wow, raise your hand. May, June, July. Okay, none of us really realized this shift was coming. We saw this. I had a great coach at the time, and I challenged you to get one, and the coach said, this is happening, it's gonna happen. So we were really attuned to it. And we started to see our inventory go up. Y'all seeing that? Okay, we didn't see that until really January of 26, or of 2006. So I'm going to say that it probably started shifting. A big shift happened in February, March, and maybe even April. The big shift that the public sees is going to be one where it's talked about on news, and it becomes top of mind. They're not talking about this. Am I dying? Now we're back. So keep your eyes open for that. That's what I saw the shift occurring. I see it happening now. I think we're in it. But it's not the end of the world, especially in Florida. Anybody outside of Florida, if you're in Ohio, good luck. For Florida, we're good, in my opinion.
Thank you. So the shift when the thing that we focus on is our MLS. And I tell the agents, you need to be in that MLS several times a day. And you need to look at the hot sheet and see what's coming on. But look at the first number in our MLS. When it pops up, it tells you how many listings are there. And then we kind of bring it down to look really right at our county area. And we hit 711 listings in all of Brevard County. I think, oh, I'm not dying. Okay. So 711 when our normal is anywhere from 26 to 2,800. And then we watched it really spike up very quickly. We're now over 2,300 in Brevard County. And that has happened in just a couple months period. So we really watch the MLS, and I encourage everyone, you should be looking at that not once a day, but several times a day.
So to piggyback on what she said, that's information you take to your sellers, because a big part of our conversations with our sellers now are setting realistic expectations and setting the price according to what has sold, instead of just, because I think maybe in March or April, I'm like, oh, you have a pool, let's add $50,000 on it, probably work. It was kind of like that. And so now you just have to price it right, and then you need, I even recommend having, okay, what happens if we don't have it under contract in the next 2 weeks? What are we going to do? Let's go ahead and talk about what price we need to be at in 2 weeks. Get that game plan set up from the beginning and manage the seller's expectations, because, most of them are kind of figuring this out. They're seeing what's happening in the economy. So when you sit down with them, just say, here's my observations. The market's cooling. This is what's happening in your neighborhood. Nothing has sold in the last 3 months. All the pendings have been from, like your new construction neighborhood or whatever the situation is. Go through the numbers with them. Explain to them that the days on market is elongating, so that when you have that weekly conversation with them, they expect to hear from you, and we're all on the same team and we're following the plan. It's just been better. The question about when did it normalize back in that big distressing shift years ago was we pretty much hit that bottom in 2011, I think it was, and then then the inventory started to drop down. People were getting the bargains, and then equity started building again. So that's when and you could just feel it. It was just obvious. So.
Awesome. Great information. Now, throughout these pivots and shifts, and you guys have been from 05 till now, an amazing journey. What has been the mindset shifts that you have had to make along the way? And what are the new empowering new beliefs or behaviors you had to adopt in these pivots and shifts?
Okay, mindset. I think that kind of always, like I mentioned before, Beth really helped a lot with that for me, being such a new agent. Just being more mentally tough was a super big deal for me, and not being afraid to speak the truth, because you don't help anybody if you're not truthful with them. So, and then just coming from a mindset of contribution. How can I help? How can I? Is it gonna? I don't want to just win the listing. I want to get it sold, and I want them to be happy at the end of this as much as possible. And then just coming from a place of compassion. There were, back then there were a lot of people. I held them crying, on my shoulder. There was, just a lot of stress and anxiety in the market. We have stress and anxiety in today's market. It's a little different. We're telling them a price that's better than we had to back then, but. People are going through a lot, worldwide for obvious reasons, and we still have to be that person that's an expert for them. And if we don't know the answer, be truthful about it. Go find it. There's no room for fluff. Just, do a good job and take care of people.
Love that.
This is my favorite one, the mindset game, and especially for us as agents, because it is very, very tough. So, expect and accept. Those are the two words. Accept and expect it to change, and accept it as it changes. It's always going to change. It will either be the macro environment that affects you or the micro environment that affects your market. So if you just expect that it's going to happen and you accept it and then adjust to it. So one of the things that I have been doing is taking the sold listings that occurred January, February, March of this year to the listing that I'm about to do today, and then we're in August, so May, June, July, part of August listings. And what I show the seller is days on market. Here's everything days on market that all of these sold January, February, March. It's all single digits. Here's what's on the market today, and it's all double and a couple triple digits. And that really does a mindset shift for your sellers.
That's good.
So with this current market that we're in and where we're projected to go, I believe very strongly that we're going to have less sales. That doesn't mean that there'll be less homes sold. It means that we'll have less portion of it, institutional buyers in here as well. The mind shift that I think everybody has to take, I definitely did in 2005, then again in 2007, is that, hi again.
Musical mics.
Is that it's really easy to put people under contract a couple months ago. It's not going to be like that in the future. There'll be less and less. It's easy to catch a bucket of water in a thunderstorm. Now we got to dig for it. Everybody that I speak to, I would say dive into your database, dive into your niche marketing, work harder. Steal your phrase, the luckier I get, the harder I work. Thanks, RTR. We're going to have to do more. I hope your mindset is, if the market's going to change, I'm going to change with it. This isn't bad. This is actually good. This is when we take over market share.
Yes.
Huge. And it's available, but it really is going to be, it comes down to you. What are you doing? And remember, everything feeds your database. These are people that know you, like you, and love you. People will work with people they trust and have relationships with over, I don't know, Open Door, OfferPad, or something like that. Your relationship is the most valuable asset you have right now with the people you're engaged with. I hope you're handling them at a high level.
So mindset. So I think there's two pieces to it, and these guys have touched on all. You have to feed yourself first, right? You know, it's the old airplane analogy, whatever it might be. And how we've done that and how we continue to do that is you've got to plug into your people, find your podcasts, find your books, read what you need to read, get real, get right. And Carey's words were, we are serving the public, serving consumers, and if we're not telling the truth, we're not serving them well, right? If we are not being real with them, we are not helping them. So what do we have to do in order to truly have the facts and the heart to serve people? If you are not a numbers person, I mean, that was incredible advice, by the way, incredible advice. If you're not a numbers person, you better become one, right? So we're going to talk about what skills to acquire, what skills to add to your tool belt. And I would just say that, you know, this is an ongoing gig. Like, it's just 5 years from now, you're going to need something different than you do today. And 10 years from now, you're going to need something different than you do right now. And it's not scary. It's just skill acquisition over and over. This is how freaking old I am. I was in real estate when someone said, I'm not going to do email.
Wow.
So I want you to realize that just Carey said it, I'm not going to do that. And what she figured out is in order to serve the families that she wanted to serve, she needed those skills. So I'm going to just ask that you take anything out of your mind that is prefaced with, I'm not going to, oh, hell yeah, you are, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm dating myself, but all I know is email. What was before email?
She actually sold Moses the mountain he was on.
Oh, okay. Heard. Beth, we'll actually...
For 3% commission. One side.
Beth, I'm actually going to stay with you because you're leading into our next question, which happened beautifully. But what was the strategies and skills? And I love that. Can you say that again? Skill acquisition? What was it, that term you just...
Yeah, doesn't that sound cool? I made that up.
Yeah,
skill
that should be a book.
acquisition. Skill acquisition. So, like, if you think about what you know now, you know how to write the frickin' smokinest offer ever, don't you? You know how to navigate around appraisal. You know how to do all kinds of things that people in 2005, well, let's say 2011, didn't know. So you've acquired an amazing set of skills. This is just more, right? This is just more stuff. So Carey spoke about pacing price reductions at the listing appointment. Do you build in price reductions into your listing agreement? Do you have a strategy to present days on market? Do you even know how to price a home? And I'm not being sarcastic. Like, how many people walk in and, yeah, I want $595. Okay, great, sign here. And you freaking get it, right? This is not those days. And I think for those people, and you could clearly hear Carey's heart. For those people who lead with their heart, that's hard. That is super hard. You got people not happy with you because they, quote unquote, need XYZ, right? So again, it's going to be scripts and dialogues, right? Do you have the right scripts? Are you qualifying sellers? Bassette's in the room. I heard him the other day that he's qualifying sellers, and if they're not realistic, he's not sure he's going, right? Because that's going to take an overpriced listing that's going to suck the life out of him, get everybody oinked at him, and he's not going to serve anyone. So you can make those decisions. I know that's a scary place to be too, because listings have been so hard to come by, but your skills around pricing properties, getting price reductions are going to be critical.
What was the question?
The question was, what new skills or strategies have you developed in this pivot?
Okay, so I'm diving back into my database, and I've had the ability, you watch me ignore that for the better part of 15 years. And it's the absolute best place for me to be for what I'm looking for in my business and my reputation with the people that I'm in relationship with. That's a skill set that I continually seek out. I'm constantly feeding, as we talked about, putting myself in the environment where other people are teaching me how to do it. I would challenge whatever it is you do, whatever for everybody out here, most of us already identified this, there's probably 2 lead generation sources that are the ones that you're most apt with, that you're most comfortable. Chances are your skill set in those are not at the level you'd really like them to be. Make them that level, because everything's going to work. I mean, hell, you could door knock and literally list 50 homes and take 50 closings a year with your eyes closed. It's going to take 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. But it can happen, and it's going to take harder work. So you have to define what yours are. Mine's database. I'm super passionate about that. That's what I focus on in open houses because they're fun. Figure out what yours is and then dive into that. Don't just sit there and say, well, I don't really know what to do. Baloney, so I call it WOB. Work on your business at least 1 hour a day. Make it the best it possibly can. We're good at this, and our database stuff still sucks. All right, we're still elevating it up. I challenge you guys to do the same thing. This will get you through it, and you will take market share. And your clients will appreciate it because you're right. It's numbers. For sure, that's part of the conversation, but it's everything else we're talking about.
That's good. WOB.
Here's another one. Calm down. Seriously, because I think that's a big problem. Everybody's scrambling. You don't have to scramble. Really, if you'll calm down and enjoy the shift, you will do a lot better. So I encourage everyone, take up something that you haven't done that you've wanted to do. Get involved outside of real estate a little bit. Take a tennis lesson. You meet new people, and it helps you to shift your strategy and your thinking about your business. A lot of people are going to leave the industry during this shift, and that's going to be your opportunity. So, yes, definitely get into your past clients, but that's why I said calm down and enjoy your past clients. You have time now. You didn't have time for the last year to really be involved with your past clients. So take the time to do that. And then lastly, learn a new skill. During this time when the shift was happening, 2005-06, I got a new CRM, learned all about it, and can use 99% of it instead of when I buy things that I use 20%. So dive into those things. They have some amazing opportunities, and that's the word for the shift. Think of it as opportunity.
Love that.
Well, that's great. I don't even know how to back that up. I would just say try to keep things simple. I so agree with what you said, because you can't just focus on worry and fear. You need to propel your business forward as you always do every day of your career, no matter what. So that stays the same. I'm learning new things. We made a shift in our brokerage this year, which was a really big deal. We're at Wemert Group Realty now, so. But I've been learning about other resources like Curbio, things like that can be a benefit to sellers to get repairs done prior to closing, stuff like that. You can still hear me. So knowing what those resources are, and part of that comes back from that community of partners that you're working with, the other agents and everything, so that, hey, we tried this. This is a conversation that we had. Here's a resource, did you think about getting an estimate for that or whatever? So that you're kind of, becoming the sharpest tool in the toolbox for the sellers. So also, in the time that you have now, if you have more time, take that education piece. Learn, those things that you're wanting to grow and expand in, this is a great time to do that. And that's what helped me. Of course, I was a brand new agent, so I was just soaking up everything in the first shift. But those classes and those educations and pieces and those certifications that I got are the tools that I needed to keep moving forward, during that tough time. And it's the same now. It's always the same. So.
Love that. We'll stay with you, Carey. And our next question is, we talked about mindset, right? We talked about skills. Now, for this audience in this time during this shift, could you guys break down the specific activities that they should be focusing on right now?
So let me remember what are the dollar producing activities that agents do, you know? And I think Gene Rivers out of Tallahassee always says, talk to more people, talk to more people, talk to more people. So just like George was saying, your database, just reach out, check in with people, offer to help them, ask them if there's anybody that needs your help. Just be there and be available to them. It's you know, the same, but you know, you talk to more people, show properties, write contracts, go to closing, you know. So if you need to do those things first, the lead generation, so that you can get those people in the car to begin with, but focus on those things and the rest of it will unfold. So
love it.
Oh, thanks. It's contact sport. What would I focus on? What am I focusing on? My database, of course, because there are people that are already engaged with me, but also meeting and engaging with new people. If you're going to make phone calls, great. If you're going to knock on doors, great. If you're going to do open houses, terrific. It doesn't matter what you do, but if you're going to speak to Bissette, back me up on this. If I speak to 25 people a day, 5 days a week, or 100 people plus per month or per week, that's probably going to equate out to 20 to 25 closings a year. Is that about right? He's... Okay, well, Ron is a little different world in here. Bissette's probably the best prospector I've ever seen. So God bless you. Thank you for that. So what are you doing to talk to people? What are you putting yourself out for? That's where I would focus, because I need a bigger pond to fish in at this point. Everybody's pond's shrinking, okay, and it's going to get smaller. So how do you expand your reach? How do you expand there's two ways. Be better at what you're doing inside of your pond, or put more people into your pond. And that's going to be prospecting and absolutely database for sure.
So prospecting is the word that no one likes, right? So I want to kind of reframe what that means. You know, George is really good at contact sport, and I mean expireds. Like 6 months ago, people were like, "Well, I'm going to work expireds." I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." Like that wasn't going to work. I don't know. Are expireds going to work now? I'm not tracking it, but I would be if I were out there selling real estate. How many more expireds are on the market now versus 6 months ago? Do I have the skill set and the tools to contact those people to help them, right? Am I gutsy, ballsy enough to go in there and say, yeah, your house is not in the condition it needs to be, and it's overpriced by $100K, let me sell it for you? Are you that person? Maybe, maybe not. If you're not that person, are you an open house person? The analogy is when you go to a store, right? We shop so much online. Think about that. We shop so much online. We shop for houses online. If someone stops the car, gets out, opens the door, and engages, is that person probably motivated? Pretty much, like way more so than 10 years ago. That was kind of the only way they could see the inside of the house 10 years ago, besides some photos that we kicked out because they didn't look good. But think about that, right? If you are more of if your background is retail, if you were in the service industry serving people in restaurants or hotel, if you're a teacher, right? These are not skills that necessarily translate into for sale by owners and expireds. That's an amazing opportunity, by the way. But I'm saying know yourself and put yourself where people are. And we haven't had the opportunity to do open houses in years, right? I like the idea of slowing down, and I'm certainly not fearful. I think you just need to consider where you are, who you are, how you can make this work. Acquire the skills, sure, but stay in your place. George mentioned you're probably good at a couple of things. You might need to pick up something else, right? But beyond that, just concentrate on what you're good at and breathe. I don't know how many realtors are in the Orlando Regional Realtor Association. The last shift, over 48% of the realtors did not make it through. Wow. Okay, 48%. We went from like 12 to 5, 12 to 6, something like that, right? I know we're at 18, 20 plus, something like that.
So the positive side of that is if 48% aren't going to make it through, and let's say it's 25%, they're selling 2-3 homes on average, they're out there. They're out there for us. So get your game better, because you're going to rise to the top, which is, quite honestly, even staying the same is a good place to be. But that won't happen if you're not working really hard at this, because in the shift, the biggest thing that happens is it stops being easy and it has to be purposeful. We call it entrepreneurial and purposeful. You better be purposeful in your actions, and if it's on your calendar, it's probably going to happen. If it's not on your schedule, chances are you're not going to do it.
It means more for those who develop the skills. Yeah. It's really a great time to be in real estate.
Agreed. Jackie, you want to?
Well, I would just say the market is shifting. How are you shifting? What are you doing to change? Because the market's changing. So if you're going to do what you were doing, you're going to get fewer results than what you were getting. You have to shift what you do. And so one of those things, as I said earlier, is just even getting out of the real estate mindset for a moment and pick up something that you enjoy. Guess what? You'll meet people there. You need to be out. That's the main thing. Don't crawl in a hole. Get out. However you do that, get out, talk to people, and of course, do the things that this panel has shared with you.
Awesome. I'm gonna stay with you. Jackie, if you don't mind. Our next question, you kind of led into this too, was how are you positioning yourself or your team in this season with the shift going on?
So the positioning that we're taking is being more knowledgeable about what is happening, because again, the public doesn't see it for quite some time. They still think their house should be increasing in value, and it's not. It's decreasing in value. So what we're doing is looking at the MLS on a regular basis and informing the public when we go out there, but we're also on a social media craziness. I don't know anything about it. All I know is the names of it. But my team is amazing, and they're all posting, they're all putting out content, and it's getting results that's insane. But it also lets the public realize that they are the voice of real estate.
That's good. That's good.
So positioning, one thing, my executive assistant Keely is here. So one thing that we were just talking about is, over the summer, pretty much everything went under contract. It could have gone under contract the same day. Usually we'd give it a couple days to try to make sure we got multiple bids. But that weekly communication that we, used to do before, going through the numbers, what's happening, all that didn't have to happen because we were already under contract, So we were just talking about, okay, let's bring back these systems, make sure that we're over-communicating, that we're having that weekly conversation, that we're going through the MLS numbers, not just in that particular neighborhood, but what's happening in the zip code, what's kind of happening, big picture, so that I can have those conversations with those sellers and so that they always are being communicated with and understand what's happening. So really just picking back up those levels of services that we didn't really necessarily have to do over the summer.
Love it.
So in 2005, when the market started shifting, I had to look for different places to add to my business because I was exclusively for sale by owners. And I went into what was the mindset, what was the change in the mindset for the buyers, or in this case, the sellers, because we focused only on listing sides at that point. And they were no longer like, I can sell it all by myself. They're like, we need you, we need your help, which goes to experience, goes to the numbers. But it was a different call to action that I could utilize when I'm casting a larger net. And I did something called 45-day guarantee, where you sell your house for 45 days, where we step in and pay the mortgage till it does. By the way, it's trademarked back the hell up. Okay? Because I've been waiting for this to happen. It's coming back. I promise you. I can't wait to use it again. So that was part of the thing. I think I got the question right. But we had to do something different. We had to adjust and adjust again, as Gretzky would do. I'm going to skate to where the puck is going to be. The mindset for the sellers at this point is, I don't need you. They still believe that. It's an extreme market. It'll keep going up, but where it's going to be more valuable, so start communicating with them in a way that you have the knowledge, because what they want is the most amount of money, the least amount of time, with the fewest amount of hassles. That's it. So that's your unique selling proposition if you're going to build one. It has to hit these three things for them. People that you know, I'm one note banjo. The people you know need to know that you're an expert at what you do, but they also need to know that you care. And that is really what database is. I'm just going to throw this out there for everybody. Forget being a real estate agent. Be a friend that actually cares about them and is concerned about their well-being, because nobody will work with somebody they don't trust. Shout out. The reason Ron sells 100 homes and has 100 people on his Facebook is because every single person that he works with knows that he gives a damn about their well-being. And it allows you, that's your business for the most part. And it's absolutely crazy, but it's the model that all of us should follow. How do our people that we're close to, how do they know that that's us? That's what I would change as far as my perception, or what I'm working on right now. I would focus on that as well. Mr. Light, good to see you.
So all that, and I'm going to kind of change it up a little bit. Back in the day, right? I don't even know the years, but back in the day, I lived on the east side of town, and I lived in an area where everyone looked exactly like me.
Stony Brook.
That is not Central Florida. We need, if you are a solo agent working on your own, you need to look at the resources around you. Do you have someone who speaks Spanish? Do you have someone to take those leads from you and perhaps pay you a referral? If you're building a team, how many members of your team speak Spanish? Are you in business with people of color? Do you have a strategy that will go after single women who are buying homes like crazy right now where they weren't 10 or 15 years ago? The world that we live in has changed, and part of who we connect with is going to matter. So if you look around and the room looks exactly like you need to find an additional room. You need to go and get into business with people who don't look like you, people who don't think like you, and people who don't have the same life experience. So that, I really honestly believe the diversity of Central Florida and our realtor community, and I love that there's 3 women up here, and the next time we need to have people of color up here, because this market is changing.
Yes,
and our
clap it up, clap it up.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Central Florida has the 3rd largest LGBTQ population in the country. Do you know how to serve the LGBTQ population? Are you an ally? Do you speak about that? Are you talking about that? How many, this is an aha for me, guys. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Gay meant happy, right? But here's the deal. How many of my friends, people my age, have children that are LGBTQ+, or later in their life they decided they are? If you're not talking about that, you're not really in their world, right? So who are you standing next to? Who are you talking to? That, I think, has changed completely since back in the day. And maybe I just lived in a little bubble in East Orlando and didn't realize it, but I realize it's more important than ever now to embrace communities that are here in Central Florida that do not look like an old white woman from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Let's give it one more round of applause for that. I love that. I love that. Being Hispanic myself makes me feel good. Appreciate it. Our next question is, what is the biggest mistake you guys feel that agents are doing now in the shift? When the shift comes, what do you think is the biggest mistake agents start to do?
I think just sticking your head in the sand. Just sticking your head in the sand and trying to take a pass. It's not going to happen. That's all I got.
I think that agents oftentimes, and they're doing it now, is thinking that the shift is coming. Well, by the time you feel that the shift is coming, it's already here. And so I think you're just behind a little bit, and we need to speed up that process and realize, quit making sellers feel good about the money they can get and start making them feel reality of what they can get.
What they said.
So this is what I think, and you guys let me know if this is along the right path. Have you felt like you have been battling agents to get to the top of the pile? Have you, people are not nice. They are elbows out, we're scratching for it, we're clawing for it, get out of my way. People are just not nice. And what I'm going to tell you is you're going to need everybody. We are going to need each other. We are going to need to work cooperatively. We're going to have, when someone asks you for comps, send them the frickin' comps. Don't act like, well, why can't you tell it, right? Chris says, yeah, right? Because, and by the way, that helps you. That helps you. I'm not foolish enough to think that we're not going to walk in and take an overpriced listing because we think we can do it. By the way, that's ego, but we all have it, right? We're going to go take that listing because I'm the smartest agent in the room and I can get them to do what they need to do. And then a month later, they're super angry with you. Well, guess what? Have your fellow agents walk through that property on purpose, give you feedback, and encourage them to price that property. Don't do that with your best buddies at your own company. Do that with your competitors. Send them in and say, please, I need some help with this listing. I need some feedback. The seller's not listening. The market is rejecting our price. That's a Wemert quote, by the way. The market is rejecting our price. If you haven't written it down, write it down now. It works in every situation. The market is rejecting our price, and my peers have given us this feedback.
That's good.
So we need each other. This is no longer elbows out who can get to the top of the table. This is we have to cooperate and get this market in line so that we take advantage of every opportunity and help as many sellers and buyers as possible. It's me, hold on.
That's good, that's good. Does anybody, I want to take a quick audible, does anybody in the crowd have a question to ask? Nobody? Go ahead.
I'll answer that one first, and then everyone's going to have some plus. So I moved here from Arizona and started over.
Real quick, Beth, I'm going to just say the question. She just moved to Florida, so her question was, and these are for my people online as well, she just moved to Florida, and her question is, as a new agent just moving to the area, what are some activities that she should be doing right now?
So I started over again too, and the advantage is you don't chase the same rabbits. The disadvantage is you don't chase the same rabbits, right? Because you know better. And I would take the advice of what everyone said here. And we have time now to go form relationships, right? We have time to volunteer at the schools. We have time to play tennis. We have time to get back into those community events. And since you're new, that's what you'll be doing anyway. So taking what George said, adding to your database, everything that these guys said, set a goal to talk to X amount of people per day. And I mean, I sold a house to the Publix deli guy because it was the only freaking guy I knew. I'm not kidding, right? So it's like, hey, you're my deli guy. You know, I knew that I had to talk to people. Where do you live, Mr. Deli Guy? Gosh, do you like living there? How many kids do you have? You know, over a series of 4, 6, 8 weeks, me and Mr. Deli Guy are BFFs, right? So take advantage. And here's the other piece, like this is a total mindset piece. You can be anybody you want here. Whatever you do not like, whatever you do not want to bring with you from wherever you came from, just leave it there.
That's a word.
Right? Just leave it there.
That's good.
Specific to you. So to tag off what she did, I actually sold 4 homes, and I am currently still the agent of record for the ABC liquor stores in Central Florida. And that's where I did a lot of my business. I was bringing this stuff to Beth's house as we were growing in office. It's context sport. You're going to have to, whatever it is, and I'm sure you're going to talk about this, and I don't mean to take it away from you, but go and do something that you really are passionate about, because it really does hit on it, and you're going to meet people. Or door knock, or do open houses. And if you want to talk more about it, I'll tell you great tips on how to do it. But you've got to be in touch with other people, and you can grow your business very, very quickly.
Work for a great broker and leader.
I don't really have anything to add. I would just say what you're interested in, get involved in that, and then make sure you're getting everybody into your database, because when it starts to get big and out of control, then you'll regret not putting every person is valuable in there.
Awesome. One more question? Anybody? Once? We got one back here. I'll repeat it after. So the question was for my people online, are any of our panelists doing farming right now?
Absolutely. It's like super duper important to our business. Community events within that farm area. I've even been doing some mailing. I'm always been terrible on making cold calls. I look at George because that's not a problem for him. But yeah, doing the farming activities, staying in touch with people, and then also reaching out to them when you have successes within the community. I'm not the best about social media. That's something I should get better at. Just letting them know, hey, we sold this house, the sellers are really happy, getting that testimonial, letting the neighbors know about that has been helping us a lot.
So all of my agents do farming, and what I encourage them to do first is don't pick what you like, pick what moves. So you need to go into the MLS and see how many times homes, condos, townhomes are turning over in an area. Start small. Something that you can manage, that you can be consistent with. So I started out with 5,000 postcards a month, and I'm up to 20,000 postcards a month. And I do it consistently every month, and when I go to some listing appointments, they'll pull out a book full. Look at all the cards you've sent me. They work.
So it's funny you ask that, because one of the things we're adding to what we're doing now is farming, and it's direct farming. as a reference point to everybody, if you're going to do a farm and you're going to do it at a really high level, you need to know and be able to meet every single person in that farm. I had 115 people, and it took me a year and a half to shake hands with every one of them. But it was very purposeful, and whatever we're doing, from your database to your farming to whatever you're going to do, it's purposeful, it's repetitive, and it doesn't take thought, and it doesn't hopefully take a lot of commitment from you, because it won't get done. And I'm positive with your postcards, you don't do those yourself. Somebody takes care of it for you.
Now they do.
Damn Skippy, right? Yeah.
So I'm going to go kind of the opposite way. So I would say, I would agree with everyone, and you don't pick your farm based on I live there, because there could be 45 other realtors that live there. You're looking for somewhere between 250 and 400 homes to begin. So I'm not in the 5,000 range yet, right? So 400 is the magic number. You want them to be in similar price point. When it's Jackie. When Jackie said you're going to see what's selling, you're going to actually do an analysis. So if there's 400 homes and 10 are selling a year, right? That's a 4% absorption rate. Not enough. Not enough, right? So we're going to shoot anywhere 5 to 10. 10 would be amazing balls, but 5 would be close enough. You're going to also make sure that nobody else controls the farm. Don't spend your money trying to battle Wemert in Bridgewater. Don't do it, right? Go find a place where no one's paying attention to, and there's so much new construction now. Like, that's going to take longer, of course, but look at the older neighborhoods. How many of you have seen those neighborhoods revitalized in the Hourglass District and around town? Does anybody control those neighborhoods? How many homes do you need in those neighborhoods? And I'm gonna say the layer is what's most important. So if you are farming, go get involved in that elementary school. If you are farming, go find a tennis lesson in that neighborhood. You've got to meet those people, just as George said. If you can door knock, great, but that puts you in the position of being a salesperson, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you do not consider yourself a salesperson, you got to figure out how to meet those people another way. So 400 homes, 24 months, at least 2 touches a month, and you are going to download that, whatever the hell the IMAP, yeah, I've been out of it a while, right? You're going to download all the addresses, and you're going to tick off one by one who you know. And you're going to get those groups together, form relationships. This is super old school, going back to what Terry said and what Carey said. Like, what I like to read books, okay, like I'm super boring, right? I had 3 book clubs back in the day, an evening one that drank, which was my favorite, a ladies one who read like crappy fiction, which was my least favorite, and then I had a book club with teachers. Oh darn. Do you think that they knew who was coming and going out of that elementary school? Yes. Did they know every parent who knew every parent who knew every parent? Yes. So that takes time, and just as Terry said, we have it now. We have it now. We're not just running from place to place to place to place, right? So get in there and build a frickin' business that will sustain you for a long, long time. That's the biggest takeaway. We are not transactional right now. We are not transactional. We are business building mode. Go do it. Build it.
Love it, love it. So many gems. All right, yes, give it up. Our last question of the day has arrived. And that question is, what do you feel is the biggest opportunity right now for agents inside this shift?
Wow. There's a lot. So, and it's again one note banjo here. It's your database. It's the people you know. But it's also taking, because we've got the time, it's taking your business and making it very purposeful to your farming, to everything we're doing. How are we doing it where it happens constantly? Anybody here start a farm and then forget to mail it out for like 3 months or so? I know I've done that. That doesn't work at this point. We've got an opportunity and a time where we've got some time at which to really build our systems. Focus on your systems. Make sure you're really giving most of your energy to your 2 main lead generation sources, because they will feed you. Your database or whatever you decide to do is going to feed you, but it's going to take massive focus. That's the biggest gift, is it makes all of us better. And the ones, with great respect, that don't make it, thank you for coming. We appreciate you all being here. But if you're not going to be here, just refer me to the 3 people that you're not going to sell to anymore because you don't have a license. There's an opportunity for growth. I'm not being mean, I'm being statistical. Explore that opportunity, be the very best you possibly can, and every single person here can do whatever they put their mind to. It's just going to take your schedule reflecting what your goal is and then working what you have to do.
So I believe that the opportunity that we have in this shift right now is one, our greatest opportunity is that we live in Florida. And Florida is going to continue to have more people coming into the state than leaving the state. Retirees are a wonderful opportunity. So there's about 150,000 that move into the state each year. There's only about 75,000 that leave the state each year. So your retirees are a big opportunity for you. The tax base that we have is conducive for a lot of people to come here. And so the opportunity as an agent in your area is that they will be leaving the other agents that have come into this market because it was so good, will be leaving this market. And that will increase your business at a consistent level. Let's hope that it's not crazy. And the other opportunity that all of us have is that we can go back to some better commissions than what we've had in the recent past. So fewer sales. It will require fewer sales from you to make the same money.
I think you have an opportunity to really distinguish yourself from the competition. I remember I keep saying all these wonderful things about Beth, but she was just such a great leader when I was getting started. And I remember I was competing with a very, very well-known and respected agent on a listing, and I was just like, I don't even know how to handle this. And Beth just said, well, what do you bring that is a benefit to the seller that this other agent may not have or may not be able to offer? Maybe he's very busy, and you can kind of find that angle. And that really helped me a lot, because then I went into those appointments and those conversations with, what benefit am I bringing to this person that's unique to my business and what we offer? So that I think is the big opportunity, is to just find what distinguishes you, how you serve your clients, and communicate that, and that's going to win you business.
Woody. He calls me Woody. So this is not sexy, and it makes a difference. Go and remargin your life, because now is the time that you will be able to build your reserves, get your taxes in order, do all the stuff that nobody talks about that we haven't been doing because our butts have been on fire, running as fast as we can. Go get the back of your house in order and build the front of your house. And this is a long stretch, guys, right? So we have been in this forensic, crazy, I don't even know what to call it, hot mess for the past insert time. It is not going to be like that, and that is a frigging gift that many of you have not felt. And if you really lean in and take yourself from running after whatever you needed to run after at the time, and planning your life and planning your business and building, you'll be on this panel this time next year, right? Because they're going to be looking for, what did I do to change my business, to remargin my business, to make more money? This is about profitability, by the way, right? We can talk volume all we want. We can talk about how many freaking houses we sell, and if you don't have any money in your pocket when you're done, you are not winning. So I would be ignoring the volume numbers, and I would be thinking about profit numbers. And if you don't know how to do that, any of us here can help you how to figure out where you are in profit. So the advantage now is slow, steady profit, building your business, taking care of your house. Do your children have 529s? Do you have your taxes in order? Do you have your reserves? Super unsexy. And at the end of the day, it's why all of these people are up here, because we did the crap work when we did.
Man, give it up for all of our panelists. With that, you guys are good. That was awesome. More noise for the panelists, please. We're good to go. That's a wrap. It's over. I have a few announcements, guys, and I'll get you guys out of here shortly.